you see how much kidnappers are looking for victims.
My thing is, government should all the stakeholders blessed. Get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Oli Badibo. Welcome to Thursday edition of Inside Nigeria here at the Leadership Television. As usual, we shall be looking at leading stories on some national daily and as well have a discussion about a state of the nation. We shall be joined later in the show by Senator Grace Folashade Prince for a discussion on the state of the nation. Before then, we shall be looking at the front page stories of some national dailies, beginning with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. Now let's see what's on the front page of Leadership this morning. Russia-Ukraine war, 200 Nigerians apply to join Ukrainian army as federal government evacuates 2,090 today. Russia-Ukraine war, 200 Nigerians apply to join Ukrainian army as federal government evacuates 2,090 today. Air peace marks air to airlift 650 from Hungary, 350 from Poland, 940 from Romania, and of course 150 Nigerians from Slovakia. Federal government earmarks $8.5 million for 5,000 evacuees, 370 Nigerian students trapped in Ukraine. Evacuate all Nigerians, not only students. Ex-Ambassador Ganaisa tells federal government. That's on the front page of Leadership newspaper. Today, 200 Nigerians applied to join Ukrainian army as federal government evacuates 2,090 today. Now let's move to our sister publication, The National Economy. On the front page of National Economy this morning, Nigerian businesses to save 12 trillion naira annually from decentralized electricity supply. Nigerian businesses to save 12 trillion naira annually from decentralized electricity supply. Experts urge federal government, National Assembly to expedite action in breaking monopoly of NESI. Experts urge federal government, National Assembly to expedite action in breaking monopoly of NESI, and that is that on the front page of the National Economy. We'll be hosting a guest very soon to help dissect the story on the front page of National Economy. Now let's move to the third newspaper on our menu this morning, The Nation newspaper. On the front page of The Nation, government kicks off process for Kyari's extradition to the United States. Government kicks off process for Kyari's extradition to the United States. Malami asks court to okay request. Court challenges 14 days detention order. Malami asks court to okay request as Abakari himself challenges 14-day detention order. Now that is that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Now let's go to the last newspaper on our menu this morning, THISDAY newspaper. On the front page of THISDAY, convention, APC said to roll appoints Abdulrazak Zoning Committee chairman. Convention, APC said to roll appoints Governor Abdulrazak Zoning Committee chairman. Lawan Omagege, some APC senators endorse Adamu for national chairman. Party leadership yet to meet on electoral acts, says Akram Dedi. Sharif, I'm aware Buhari is endorsing Adamu. Sharif, of course, Sharif is the former governor of Borno State. Ali Modu Sharif is saying he is aware President Muhammadu Buhari is endorsing Senator Abdullah Adamu to become the APC national chairman. Interestingly, Ali Modu Sharif is an in-law to President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, it's an interesting story there on the front page of THISDAY newspaper as events unfold. Now let's go to the front page of our sister publication, The National Economy, and we are being joined by Mr. Adetayo Adegbele of Nigeria. That's what we got on the front page of National Economy this morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Adegbele.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you back on this show for the second time.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, I want you to make a sense of this story we have today on the front page of our sister publication, The National Economy. Nigerian businesses to save 12 trillion naira annually from decentralized electricity supply. Experts urge federal government National Assembly to expedite action in breaking monopoly of NESI. Now, this is one of the aspects in the ongoing constitutional review exercised by the National Assembly. So, what do we stand to gain if the electricity sector is decentralized eventually?
Oh well, the first thing that must be noted is that it is a move in the right direction. It is something that we expected. It's something that we've also advocated for on our platform. You know, to
Hello, Mr. Adebele. Since that connection has frozen over there, we are speaking with Mr. Adetayo Adegbele of Power Up Nigeria Initiative to help dissect the story on our sister publication, The National Economy. Nigerian businesses to save 12 trillion naira annually from decentralized electricity supply. Well, if you are able to re-establish the connection, we will continue discussion with Mr. Tayo Adegbele. We need now to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. Don't go away.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria for this Thursday morning, March 3, 2022. Now, we're being joined by Mr. Tayo Adegbele of Power of Nigeria. Mr. Adetayo, before we went off, you started with something, so I need you to continue with your line of thought before I ask the next question.
all right. Sorry, I apologize for the breakout as well. As I was saying, this is something that we have always been advocating for. All different sections of Nigeria, different geographical areas of Nigeria with different strengths. The way we have solar in the north, same way we have gas that's predominantly in this part of it. So different states have different strengths that we leverage on to use this power that we're talking about, and without necessary investment. For instance, of trying to gas all the way from River State to Kano or to Kaduna, for instance. So, and again, our privatization system was actually also fashioned after that of India. So it makes more sense to also go that route. If you go to India, for instance, we have states that trade in power. What it means is that they have the resources to produce power, and we have states that can buy it off them with whatever resources that they have. So it's a very good, it's a very, very good and a very big step towards finding a solution to the power system, power problem that we have in the country. Are you there?
Yes, are you still with us? Hello,
Yes,
Mr.
absolutely.
Adeyemi. All right. So
Yes,
now,
I'm here.
all right, are you done with that submission?
The basic summary of what I said, if you can hear me, I can go over it again. The basic summary of what I said was that it is a very big step forward to solving the power sector problem that we have in Nigeria, leveraging on the strength of each state and allowing states to bring their investment and their strength of area into providing solutions to the power system problem that we have in the country.
So now you also agree with total decentralization of the electricity supply chain.
Absolutely, it's what we've been pushing for all along, yes.
And what about this figure? I think this figure, according to National Assembly, is coming from the World Bank, the 12 trillion naira lost to power outages annually. So if we are to save that, what do you think that kind of money can do for the sector?
Well, maybe if I were the editor of the magazine, probably I would have taken a different angle to that headline.
Okay.
What I speaks to is that the World Bank did a study saying that is how much we lost every year. I mean, it's not just in terms of how much is lost in terms of productivity, in terms of access to power to produce things and stuff. Those are the things that they estimated together to arrive at that about 12 trillion, about $400 million annually. So I mean, then of course, when you in terms of manpower loss and everything, that's what comes to that figure. So so maybe if we solve the problem, if we're able to decentralize and is able to resolve some bit of the problem, I don't see it as a silver bullet as well. Again, that's part of the problem that we are having, because those that are sold the idea of privatization sold it as a silver bullet. Once we privatize, all problems will be resolved. But that's not what sector reform is. Power sector, well, that's not reforms. That's not what they are. Reforms are you try something, it doesn't work as envisaged, then you try another thing. So we have gone from just privatizing now to the next level, which is decentralizing the power generation and distribution. So anybody that has money to bring it can bring it in. Bottom line is that it's going to trickle down to productivity of Nigerians. It's going to increase it. A lot of leakages that we've been having. For instance, if you don't have, in fact, there are people that want to invest in the country, but once they start from power, you have to buy the generator, you have to provide alternative. It's a turn off for them. Immediately, the first thing they tell you is, oh, you have to provide alternative source of power for yourself, or else you won't be able to produce. It's a turn off. So it's not just in saving; it's about stimulating the economy. It's about creating more jobs and probably pushing us to achieve the kind of potential that Nigerian economy should be able to achieve with our kind of landmass and the population and resources that's available to us.
All right, finally, Mr. Adebele, let me do this before I allow you to go. The last time you appeared on the show, we spoke about the faulty privatization of the power sector. Now, I want to ask you, with this latest move by the National Assembly to have a decentralized electricity supply chain. Will this also solve some of the inherent problem in the sector, or that is a different ball game altogether?
All right. This is an interesting angle as well because, interestingly, there was an event we attended, the Nigerian Institute of Power Engineers event that we attended last year, and one of the issues that crop up at that point is that will it be okay to look at decentralizing the regulatory commission? I mean, having states to regulate and bringing everything to the center. By the time we have states generating power, distributing power, and transmitting by themselves, I'm sure we will need to answer that question directly now. We will need to bring the regulatory aspect of it down to those states. There must be a way to bring everything. And again, don't also forget that it's just not assembly that has just passed that. You still have to pass through the 36 states House of Assemblies and federal government. The presidency still need to sign up on it. So, but again, it's a process. It is a process. Reform is a process. We have done what we could. It hasn't worked the way we expected. It hasn't yielded the kind of result that we expected. So we are looking at how to tweak it for us to yield to get the result that we want. So one of them is that we need more investment, and we can get. In fact, we have states that are already fighting. They're already, agitating to come on board to bring investment. I mean, your state recently went in with about 8 billion investment cachet, and we are saying that maybe they will have just partner with TCN and the existing infrastructure so that they can take off all the energy that the sector is not able to utilize. So I mean, so you can imagine for your state is able to create their own power grid and say, if you're not satisfied with IBDC, just come on board us. We'll do to a social price. I mean, so definitely it is a move in the right direction. It is a move that is going to create some kinetism in the system. And of course, by the time it settles down, we'll be able to also see where it is lacking and where else we need to also reform or to add salt here and there if we need to add valve here and there as well.
All right, many thanks to you, Aditayo Adegbile of Power Up Nigeria, for creating time this morning on Inside Nigeria. Many thanks to you for those insightful contributions this morning. All right. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Senator Grace Folashade Benz, former senator of the Adamawa South Senatorial District, on the state of the nation. Don't go away.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. We're being joined by Senator Grace Folashade Benz, a former senator representing Adamawa South Senatorial District of the National Assembly and a member of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. Good morning, distinguished Senator. Good morning, distinguished. All right, it's like Senator Benz is not hearing me. We'll fix that connections shortly. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Senator Grace Folashade Benz, a former senator of the Adamawa South Senatorial Districts are member of the ruling All Progressive Congress. Don't go away.
I have a problem with it.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. We apologize for that little hitch over there. We have established connection with Senator Grace Folashade Bent, who will be speaking with us on the state of the nation. Good morning, distinguished Senator.
Yeah, good morning.
It's nice to have you on our morning show inside Nigeria for the first time. All right, we've lost connection with Senator Grace Folashade Bent again. Okay, she's back. Okay, good morning, Senator. Let's go quickly to business for want of time. It's nice to have you on this show this morning.
Thanks for having me here.
All right, quickly, let me have your take on the state of the nation, distinguished Senator.
Yes, well, the major thing that is very troubling to me today is the issue of the bills that have been thrown out in the constitutional amendment by the National Assembly. I think that's one of the most trending subject matters all across the nation. And as a female politician, I find this very, very worrisome, very disturbing, and I consider it a major threat to our democracy as it is today. If you have been very current with developments across the nation, the National Assembly has been very busy with, passing the clauses and, making the bill ready for the president asset. I think that's about a major thing that is, trending now. And if you want me to talk about it, I can lend my voice to that.
Go ahead.
Yes. You know the clauses of the citizenship for women that are married to foreigners, the additional seats for the women in the National Assembly, and the 35% affirmative action. I want to take those clauses one by one. And as a parliamentarian that I am, because once you are a senator, you remain a senator for life. So there's nothing like a former senator. I think I want to correct some people who have erroneously addressed senators as a former senator.
I'm sorry for that.
Yes, there's nothing like a former senator. You must say a former lawmaker, but not a former senator. It's either you're a serving senator or non-serving senator. I'm a non-serving senator as it is today. And with my experience in parliament work, I am very, very worried at the way the National Assembly handled this matter. And it goes a long way to reflect the kind of mindset of our male gender in the National Assembly. It's not every one of them, but I want to lay the blame on the table of the principal officers, the Senate President and the Speaker and the leaders across all the political divides. First and foremost, you must understand that whether there's a constitutional amendment or not, the political parties have the sole responsibility, as it were, to include this 35% affirmative action in their own constitution. So it's irrelevant if the National Assembly, because of some of their chauvinistic traits, some of them they are misogynists, and they do not understand the workings of the Nigerian Constitution. And I'm very disappointed at that. The Constitution is very clear about this. The political parties run the affairs of their independent political parties. It is the responsibility of the political parties to enshrine the 35% affirmative action in their own political parties. In other words, it must be enshrined in the Constitution and be ratified by their convention, not the National Assembly. The National Assembly amendment is just an addition and a side attraction. So I don't want the Nigerian women to lose hope and to lose faith in our democracy. It is not over until it is over. It is the responsibility of the political parties. And I want to challenge the political parties today to rise above every primordial sentiment, to rise above their chauvinistic tendencies, and see what is happening all across the continent. There is a paradigm shift all over the world. Any nation that wants to progress must, as a matter of urgency, view these matters very seriously. I sympathize with our nation, Nigeria. If our lawmakers who are representing their constituents we do the charade that they did in the National Assembly on Tuesday, a dark day indeed, then where lies the hope of an ordinary Nigerian? What is the big deal? I saw this, the leader, the House leader in the House of Reps, who rose up with, a lot of arrogance, stood up that day to say that he is married to 4 wives and is the father of many daughters. I beg his pardon. That is absolutely reckless. You can be married to 20 wives. That's your choice. And that's the choice of the women who chose to marry you. But to bring that mentality into the chambers and begin to beg, in quotes, he was begging his colleagues to tell them, please allocate 20% for the women. I beg his pardon. That is most uncharitable to the women folk in Nigeria. The women who constitute over 50% of the population, the women who queue under the rain, under the sun, to vote for these men, now you're saying that you're allocating 20%, a stipend to them. And these are the people who voted, who used their voters' card, their sweat to bring you into that hallowed chambers. I mean, it's so sad. And this is a major message for our women today, that enough of this irresponsibility. I mean, I don't know how I can explain this. You begin to tell Mr. President, who has the prerogative, it is his own exclusive right to appoint whoever he so wishes to appoint to his cabinet. If he chooses to appoint 100% of women into his cabinet, it's his own prerogative. It is not the responsibility of the National Assembly to tell Mr. President, please take 20%. It's not their job. They should sit down and read the Constitution very well. And as such, the responsibility of the political party is to go to the convention of each of their political parties. When this Constitution, bring up these amendments at your own convention and let it be ratified. 35% affirmative action. You ratify it at your level of convention, at the neck level, national executive level of the political parties, and then at the convention, and it becomes a law in the political parties. So what the National Assembly did that it was mere charade, it doesn't hold water. And what pains me is the fact that they don't even understand that this thing, and you could see the rowdiness that day. And some were shouting like babies, no, yes. These are men of honor that I respect. Well, not to all of them. I am so happy. I appreciate, and I say kudos to the few of them who took the bulls by the horns and said, no, this is not right. Do men think they are doing us a favor as women? No, they are doing themselves a favor. They are doing the Nigerian people a favor. They are doing the Nigerian democracy a favor. It's not about the women. I don't know why the men feel so threatened about this development. You want development in this nation. You want Nigeria to progress. Then you had better go back to the drawing board and do what is right.
Yeah, distinguished senator, because of want of time, you just spoke my mind, talking about going back to the drawing board. Since all these pro-women bills failed at the National Assembly, you are the first person I heard from you the way out solution, that the party should be the one championing the cost.
Absolutely.
As a member of the ruling, yes, ironically, the National Assembly is populated by APC members. Now you are a member of the ruling APC. So how do you take up this challenge? How do you approach your party for a way out?
Yes, I thank God I'm a bona fide member of the All Progressive Party, All Progressive Congress Party. Then this is the ruling party, and as a ruling party, it behoves on them to be a blaze trailer. They must set a pace.
All right, it seems we have lost connection with Senator Grace Folashade Brent, who has been speaking with us on the state of the nation. All right, quickly, let me go to Russia. We are being joined by a Nigerian in Russia to give us updates on the things happening in that part of the world against the backdrop of the Russian-Ukraine war. Good morning, Mr. Ogenebo.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Now,
Yes.
let me know where you are speaking with me. Let me know your location.
I'm speaking from Abuja.
Oh, Barista, sorry, you're speaking from Abuja.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you for joining us, and we thank you for your patience. Now, let me show you what we have on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning, talking about federal government beginning the process to extradite former Super Core DCP Abakari to the United States. Now, tell us about this process and how will it be pursued through?
Okay, so the proper thing is what the federal government is now doing.
Right. Oh, I think we've lost that connection again. I don't know what's happening this morning. All right, we need to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue. Don't go away.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
All right, we've established connection with Senator Grace Folashade Brent, a member of the All Progressive Congress, who has been speaking with us on the state of the nation this morning. Senator, welcome back. Now, I need you to complete your line of thought before I ask you the next question.
About my expectation from the All Progressive Congress.
Yes, and how will you approach your party to see this through?
Yes, you know, the APC just concluded its women's conference a couple of weeks back, and some far-reaching decisions were met there. We reached and we prepared a document, and some of the documents included the need for this inclusion of the 35% affirmative action in the constitution of the APC. And we have communicated this to the acting chairman of the caretaker. We've communicated this to some of the governors, and the party has the documents with them. So we expect that in the forthcoming convention on the 26th of March, some of these amendments will be looked into, and we pray and believe that they will be ratified and included in the party enshrined in the party constitution. That is the only way out, so that we don't bother ourselves with what is happening at the National Assembly. This is the duty of political parties, and the political parties, like I said, once APC is able to do that, I believe that other political parties will take cue and do the necessary, the needful.
All right, distinguished Senator, I need you to stay with me. Let me quickly go to Russia to get an update while we continue this discussion within a minute.
Thank you.
Don't go away. All right, let me go to the Nigerian, one of the Nigerians residing in Russia, to give us the state of things in that country against the backdrop of the Russia-Nigerian war. Okay, we've lost that connection. All right, distinguished senator, I'm back to you. We've lost that connection. Now, the 2023 general election is fast approaching. Now, let me hear your take as regards the chances of your party at your level of Adamawa State and the nation at large in the forthcoming general election.
Thank you very much. The INEC has rolled out its party activities, the political party activities for the upcoming elections, and I believe that as soon as my party, the APC, hits the ground running with its forthcoming convention, I think we are ready to go. But beyond that, with some of the amendments in the electoral law that Mr. President just assented to, it is obvious that my party must understand that it's not going to be business as usual with the way candidates emerge in our political party, with the electoral transmission of results and all other amendments that have been included in the electoral law. It's obvious that political parties must get more serious about how they nominate their flag bearers for the upcoming or forthcoming elections. They must understand that rigging will be very difficult, because if you're doing electronic transmission, as it were, it's not going to be business as usual. Political parties must consciously and deliberately search out for credible candidates, popular candidates, grassroots candidates who are very, very popular and are acceptable to the electorate. If you don't do that, the electorates are becoming wiser by the day, and what we may experience is that electorates will not vote for political parties, as it were. Electorates will rather go for individuals. They will vote for individuals that they know can take them to the promised land. Individuals that have proven track records, individuals with antecedents, with pedigrees, that can really represent them. And I think this is a major message to our political parties, and indeed to my own political party. So if political parties and APC, which is my party, is able to
Since we've lost that connection again with Senator Grace Folashade, who has been speaking to us on the state of the nation. All right, let me go to Barrister Ogenego Otemu. Barrister, welcome back. Now, for want of time, take us through the process of extradition. How will Abakari be extradited to the United States?
Okay, so thank you very much for having me. Now, now that the federal government has approved the request of the United States of America, it now behoves on the Attorney General of the Federation to approach the court, which he has done by the case he has filed in the Federal High Court, Abuja here, seeking an order for the extradition of Abakari under the Extradition Act. Now, that application will be heard. Abakari would have opportunity to defend himself there. And then once the court is satisfied that there are cogent reasons why Abakari should be extradited, which is, has he been indicted? Is he to face a trial there? Is there a competent order from the country seeking his extradition, which is the United States, as in this case? The court will now make that order. Once that order is made, the Abakari will now be extradited from Nigeria to the United States of America to stand trial for the offense he is alleged to have committed, which is his involvement into the $1.1 million fraud with Hush Puppy.
So, finally, can the court, in its own wisdom, also reject the application of the federal government to extradite Abba Kyari? Is that possible?
Yes, sure. Of course, that is why the court is not a rubber stamp to the federal government. The court will look at the evidence before it. The evidence that will be provided will be the evidence provided by the United States of America in seeking his extradition. And so once the court satisfies itself that there are cogent reasons why he should be extradited, as the Attorney General has postulated, the court naturally grants the order and have him extradited, particularly where he's not standing trial in Nigeria. There's no criminal charge filed against him for that offense. For the offense of that 1.1 million naira fraud, he has not been charged to any court in Nigeria. And so I don't see any reason why the court should not, but it is within the wisdom of the court, the ambit of the court, to look at the process, the documents before it. I don't have all the documents with me now. So it is, even if I have them, my reasoning may not be the reasoning of the court. So the court will look at it, and if the court satisfies itself that cogent reason evidence has been placed that links Abba Kyari to that offense, and that the extradition request is properly made, then the court will have no hesitation than to grant the order, and Abba Kyari will be extradited to the United States to face his trial.
Now, Barrister, you say he's not standing trial in Nigeria, so there is no test. He has to go. Now, if he has a pending litigation in Nigeria, he has also taken the federal government or the NDLA to court trying to enforce his human rights. Is that also another ground not to allow him to go or not?
No, not at all. That is just that's an application for the enforcement of his fundamental human right because he feels he has been detained unconstitutionally by NDLA. That does not have any business with what is on ground. That is not a criminal. What is contemplated is if he's criminal trial. That one is not a criminal trial. That's a civil case he brought to enforce his fundamental human right. And don't forget, NDLA has also gone to court to seek the order of court to further keep him in order for them to conclude investigation. So the fundamental human right has no place at the moment.
All right, many thanks to you, Barrister Ogenebo Otemu, legal practitioner based in Abuja, for joining us this morning for this wonderful insight. We hope to see more of you when the days arise.
Thank you.
All right, that was Barrister Ogenebo Otemu, an Abuja-based legal practitioner. On that note, we come to the end of Inside Nigeria for this morning. My name remains Bobby Badibo. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.